Hi, my name is Laurie Brooks, and I work for Franklin Covey's educational department called The Leader in Me. It wasn't too long ago that I too was a teacher and would get up every morning, get dressed, and head to my classroom. Although I took a position knowingly that I was going to become a remote employee, the shift was hard for me. And I'm getting the sense that many people might be struggling with the same kind of things around how do you create a little bit of normalcy in what we're all calling the new normal. So I thought I would talk through just 5 tips that I have that helped with my transition, and I hope it will be helpful for you. First of all, get up roughly the same time every morning. Make sure that you are getting up as soon as your alarm goes off. It can be really tempting these days to hit the snooze button over and over again. And if you're struggling with that, Mel Robbins talks about this in her book, The 5 Second Rule, which I highly, highly encourage you taking a look at. We want to create a sense of normalcy. And if we're used to getting up a certain time during this time, it's equally as important to follow that routine. The second is get dressed as if you are going to work. If you are someone who puts on earrings and a necklace to go to work, or for men, dress in your dress shoes and slacks, dress accordingly so that you're comfortable from home, but make sure it can be really tempting to stay in your pajamas all day, especially on our bottom halves, because really, I mean, let's be honest, who's going to see us, right? But it's really more of a mental preparation. We want to create, again, that normalcy of getting up, going to work, even if it's just down the hall in your office space. Number 3, clear the clutter. It can be really complicated, especially now with everyone home, kids, husbands, wives, everybody vying for space. But make sure you have a little bit of space that's yours and make sure it's free of clutter. Our outside world affects our inside world way more than I think any of us are privy to. So make sure that you have a space that is cleared and that is comfortable for you to go to work every morning. Number 4, make sure you're sharpening your saw. And what do I mean by that? It means find something in your day that brings you joy. Can you wake up 5 minutes earlier to get a little bit of peace and quiet before your family wakes up? What is it that brings you joy? If you need to walk around the neighborhood, it can be so easy to sit in front of our computer for hours on end and not move. It's so important to keep our body moving because when we come back, we feel more refreshed and more focused than if we didn't take a break. So make sure that you are spending a little bit of time sharpening your saw, no matter whatever that means for you. Make sure you're doing it for at least 5 to 10 minutes. If you can get more, the better. Our self-care and our mindsets and how we take care of both of those things are so important right now. It's easy to think that everything else is more important, but if we are not operating at our optimal level, we're not as successful and we can't be there and give as much as educators are giving right now. So make sure you're finding some time to sharpen the saw. And finally, make sure you are honoring your yeses and nos. I see people zooming around all the day these days. They are in and out of Zoom meetings, and for educators setting up distant learning, it's going to become more and more the norm. But so make sure that if you are finding you're saying yes, when you say yes to something, it means you're saying no to something else. So if your family has organized a family Zoom night and you just don't have the capacity to join because you've been on calls all day, make sure that you're honoring that. We need to stay in optimal health and we need to make sure that our calendars aren't more busy than they were before, which I have a funny feeling with educators, they are just going to pack it in. So make sure you think about your priorities and do you have the space to say yes to that thing that you've just been asked for? If not, politely decline or reschedule the call. So just to review the 5 steps that I hope will be helpful for you as this transition to an at-home worker for as long as it lasts. Number 1, get up the same time every day. Number 2, get dressed as if you were going to work. Number 3, clear your physical clutter. Make sure you have a nice place to work. Number 4, sharpen your saw. Make sure you're spending time doing the things that you really love to do and that bring you joy. And finally, make sure you are really connecting with your yeses and nos and honoring those. I commend you for all the work that you're doing. Franklin Covey stands behind you. The Leader in Me stands behind you. And we can't wait to see what you come up with in this virtual new age. Thank you.